Hi! In this video I'm gonna explain you how to judge difficulty single rope. This is the theory. In another video I'm gonna show you how it works in real life when judging a routine. Difficulty single rope, it's rather complicated to explain all of it, but once you get used to it and once you know how it works, you will see that judging a freestyle is not so hard. If you compare it with difficulty double dutch, the rules are very easy, but it's very complicated to judge. It's the same as in difficulty double dutch. You have 5 different levels. So when they do a skill, then you have to write down on your score sheet a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4 or a 5. A 5 meaning a very hard skill and a 1 is a very easy skill. In general, we tried to put every skill into one of those categories. You have crosses, you have multiples, releases, powers and gymnastics. In, let's say, half a minute to a minute, I'm going to try to explain you of the crosses, whether it's forwards or backwards, is a level 2 skill. There are some exceptions. Some crosses are a level 3 skill and you will have to learn those by heart. Some transitions from one cross into another cross can become a level 3 skill or even can become a level 4 skill, and we even have some examples where it is even a level 5 skill. Okay, so these are crosses. Multiples, doubles, triples, quadruples, there we always use the same rule. If you're doing a double, you have at least a level 1 skill. For doing a triple, you definitely get already a level 2 skill, and for a quadruple, it's for sure already a level 3. But if you manage to do things in the multiple, while you're doing the double, or while you're doing the triple or the quad, you can add some levels to it. The rule is as follows: if you do a multiple and you can do another level 2 skill in your multiple, you will get 2 extra levels. An example, if in a double under you manage to do a TS, for instance, which is a level 2 cross, if you manage to do that while you're in the air, you do the TS completely, then you will get for this a level 3. 1 level because you did a multiple, a double, and then 2 extra levels because you managed to do the TS while you were in the air. So what we call a double under TS, it's a level 3. It's exactly the same for triple unders, quadruples unders, and so on. So if you manage to complete a level 2 skill while you're in the air, you get 2 extra levels. If you manage to do a level 3, you get 3 extra levels. If you manage to do a level 4, you get 4 extra levels. If you don't manage to do it while you're in the air, but you're landing in a certain skill, like if you do 1, 2, so you're landing in a level 2 skill, you only get 1 extra level. If you're landing in a level 3 skill, you get 2 extra levels. If you're landing in a level 4 skill, you get 3 extra levels. One more rule: if you were able to turn around completely 360 degrees, you also get an extra level. And then only certain combinations of those you can use to come to a level 4 or 5. Okay? So that's in very, very short the multiples. The releases. Level 1 release is basically the most easy release that exists. You just let go of your handle and you catch the handle again. And then if you go one step more difficult, it becomes a level 2, for instance catching 2 handles. It can become a level 3 if you manage to catch a handle after it had made a full revolution in the air, or you manage to catch a handle and pull it under your body, and so on and so on. These are all extra ways how to get more credit for your release. Powers, also some general idea about the powers is you have to look at what your rope is doing. If you're not jumping your rope, if the rope doesn't go under your body, you do not get credit for it. So going to a frog, for instance, normally you do not jump your rope, so you do not get credit for it. But coming out of a frog, there you do get credit because you pull your rope under your feet. What is the general rule? You just look at what the rope is doing and you get one extra level if you come out of a power skill. So coming out of a frog, basically you do an ordinary jump because you just come out of the power skill. It's just not a level 1 because an ordinary basic jump is a level 1. You will get a level 2. So coming out of a power skill, you get one extra level. Going into a power skill, if you manage to jump a rope, you even get 2 extra levels for it. Then there is another rule, going into a difficult power skill, for instance a one-handed push-up and not a normal push-up, you even get 3 levels extra. It's the same for coming out of a more difficult power skill. Coming out of a one-handed frog, you get 2 extra levels instead of 1 extra level. And then in the gymnastics we just have different categories. You have the easy gymnastics like a roll, this is the level 2. You have a little bit more difficult gymnastics like a kip and a front flip and so on, that's a level 3. And then the really difficult ones, all the saltos, are level 4. But if you manage to do, while you're doing a gymnastic, you manage to do a multiple or whatever, then you get extra credits for it as well. But once again, we will go now into the detail of what are the typical level 2 skills 3, 4 and 5. I'm not going to talk about the level 1 skills because the only level 1 skill that we have is the basic crisscross where you cross your arms. Whether you do this forwards or backwards doesn't matter, it is a level 1. And all those kind of footwork things that you do, those are all level 1s. What are the typical level 2s? As I said, almost all crosses are level 2. Definitely if they are isolated, so if you just do an ordinary toad and then you do a few jumps and then you do a TS and a few jumps, then they are most of the times a level 2. We have a few exceptions, but you will see them in the level 3. Multiples, double under with regular crosses, like the side swing crisscross in double, 1, 2, or the cross open, 1, 2, all those easy doubles are level 2. Also double unders landing in a level 2 skill, like 1, 2 for instance, or 1, 2, or 1, 2 to an EB, things like that, it's also level 2. Even some triple unders, the very easy triple unders, where you do for instance side swing open open in a triple under, it's only level 2. Releases, the easiest release is level 2, where you let go of a handle and you catch the handle, that is a level 2 release. Powers, coming out or completing a basic power move, basically coming out of a frog, coming out of a push-up, coming out of a split, and so on, that is a level 2. And then in gymnastics, I already said, the very easy gymnastics where you do jump the rope, because if you don't jump the rope you don't get credit, it's a level 2, like a front roll for instance. Typical examples of level 3 skills. In the crosses you have the exceptions that I was talking about. These ones are very important because a lot of people are going to do those. First of all, the backwards behind the crosses, behind the back crosses. So basically the TS backwards, the CL backwards and the AS backwards are all level 3. So that's a very important exception. Also what we call a T-toad. An ordinary toad is like this. A T-toad is a toad where you have your arms crossed in a different way. So an ordinary toad is like this, a T-toad is like that. If you come out and if you jump out of such a T-toad, you will get a level 3 and not just a level 2. Same principle with an inverse T-toad. If you're standing like this but with your arms like this and you come out of it, you also get a level 3. Same thing with a caboose, it's also a very difficult skill to jump out of. So that's why we said for those you get a level 3 instead of a level 2. The last exception in the level 3 category is some special switches, and the only example that I can give you is when you do a cross-cross switch, but from, for instance, a toad to an elephant. When you go from the toad to an elephant, you basically do a cross-cross switch. You switch your arms. And so we say in that case you have a level 2 for your toad, and you would normally say another level 2 for your elephant, but you get an extra level because you made a switch. Okay? So that's a level 2 for the first one, and then a level 3 for the elephant. So for the elephant you get an extra level because you did this cross switch. You will see in the level 4s that we have some more examples of that. Then for the multiples, what are the typical level 3 multiples? what I would call the difficult doubles, like TES in double under, AS in double under, CL in double under, toad in double under, so where you fully complete the skill while you're in the air and doing a multiple. Doubles landing in a level 3, typical example is side swing TS backwards, for instance, where you land in the TS, which is a level 3 skill, don't forget if you do it backwards. All the triples with the basic crisscross, doesn't matter forwards, backwards, it stays the same level. All quadruples without a crisscross, and what we call the EK full twist, where you turn around completely, it's a triple under. You first do a side swing, you jump backwards and you jump forwards. That's also a level 3. And then the releases which are a little bit more difficult than the easy releases, where you catch 2 handles instead of 1 handle. The rope made a loop during the release, so you managed to catch a handle, but the handle made a complete loop in the air, or the rope made a complete loop in the air. Catch the handle in a special position or a special skill. This is, for instance, you let go of this rope, but you catch the rope while you are in a limited position. That's also a level 3. And then the power skills, coming out of or completing a more powerful power move. Coming out of a one-handed push-up is a level 3. Coming out of a one-handed frog is a level 3. These are the typical examples. Also power to a level 2 skill. A push-up to a CL, it's a level 3. A push-up to an AS, it's a level 3. A frog to a TS is a level 3. So coming out of a power skill, going into a level 2 cross is a level 3. So these are typical examples of level 3s. And then for the gymnastics, we have the handspring supported with the hands, the kip, those kind of things that are more difficult than the easy gymnastics, but still not as difficult as the really, really difficult gymnastic skills. What are the typical level 4 skills? Again, also for crosses, there is a possibility to have level 4 skills. It's what we call, again, cross-cross switches, but of the same skill, but also there are some exceptions as well that you don't have to do the same skill, but that you will see that it's a difficult transition. So let's start with the first one, where we have AS, AS, CL, CL, TS, TS. Basically, if you do TS, TS forwards, you will get a level 2 for the first TS, and then for the second TS, you will get a level 4. Same thing if you do elephant, elephant, or toad, toad, or Kruger, Kruger, doesn't matter. Level 2 for the first one and level 4 for the second one. As I said, there are some exceptions where we also have level 2 for the first one and level 4 for the second one, even though it are not exactly the same skills. It's not Kruger, Kruger, but it is, for instance, from, which example did I give here? From a toad on the left to an inverse toad on the right. If you go from a toad on this leg to an inverse toad on that leg, you will see that this transition is also very difficult. And so it's in the same category where you get a level 2 for the first skill and then a level 4 for the second skill. Multiples, what are the typical level 4 multiples? You will see this category a lot, where you are able to do a triple and in the air you manage to do a level 2 cross. So this is all the TJs, all the jammies, triple TS, basically a lot of the difficult triple unders. Also all the quadruples with just crisscrosses, so basically side swing, cross, cross without a switch, or side swing, cross, cross, open, all those kinds are also level 4. And then the more difficult than the EK, so we said that the EK was a level 3, where you did a side swing backwards and forwards. If you add a cross to it or things like that, then you get another level, and then you come into the level 4s. Releases, we make it even more difficult. What can you do? You can throw your rope in the air, the rope makes a full revolution, the 2 handles as well, of course, and you catch the 2 handles. Those kind of releases are level 4 releases. Or if you manage to do a level 3 release, but you catch the handle and you manage to pull it under your feet. That's also therefore you get also an extra level. So a typical level 4 release is where you do a jump, you do a release, where you do some kind of a lasso, you catch the handle while you're already in the air and you manage to pull it under your feet. Also, those kind of skills are a level 4. And then everything else which is more difficult, where you manage to catch a handle and you fall into a push-up at the same time, or you're doing a suicide and so on, and it's obvious that those kind of releases are level 5 releases. Power skills, some examples of level 4 power skills, going from a level 2 skill into a power. So we said that from a power into a level 2 was a level 3. So from a frog into a CL is a level 3. Now we are going to the power, then we get an extra level. If we go from an AS into a push-up, that is a level 4. Okay, from a CL into a push-up, it's a level 4. From a TS into a push-up, it's a level 4. Or into a frog, or a split, or a crab, or whatever, a power. The second one, coming out of a more powerful power to a level 2 skill. We said that push-up to CL was level 3, then I think it makes sense that one-handed push-up to CL is level 4. One-handed frog to CL is level 4, and so on. A power to power skill, and there the typical example is the kamikaze. You're standing in push-up, you pull your rope under you, but you fall into push-up immediately again. So basically the rope goes under your push-up, but you end in a push-up directly afterwards. So that is a level 4. Can also be other kind of kamikazes, where you don't go from push-up to push-up, but maybe from push-up to split, where you pull the rope under you. From a split to a split, or from a frog into a push-up and you manage to pull the rope under you. It's quite complicated, but that's why it's a level 4. Going to more powerful skills without jumping the rope. For instance, we said that AS into a push-up was a level 4. Well, the double under one-handed push-up is also a level 4, which means you go over your rope and you fall into a one-handed push-up. That's also a level 4. Or you go over your rope and you fall into a frog, a two-feeted frog. So basically the two-feeted frog where you pull your rope under you, it's also considered a level 4 skill. Okay? Everything which is even more hard to do, it's of course a level 5 skill. Gymnastics, basically all kinds of saltos, aerials and so on are level 4 skills. If you manage to do something else in those gymnastic skills, some people manage to do a round of back tuck, and in the back tuck they manage to do a triple under toad or whatever, then it's obvious that those things are level 5. Some typical level 5 skills, some possibilities. There are more possibilities than this, but this is, yeah, let's say 80–90% of what you need to know. Crosses, some crosses behind the back are level 5. I told you that TS forwards is level 2–4. TS forwards was 2–4. But if you do it backwards, remember that doing the TS backwards is a level 3. Doing the CL backwards it's a level 3, and doing the AS backwards it's also a level 3. So then it makes sense that if you do a TS backwards, then you get a level 3, followed by a level 5. Same thing with CL, AS. So that's one way of doing crosses which are worth a level 5. So multiples, all kind of quadruples with level 2 crosses. So you had the TJ triple under. Well, if you can do that in a quadruple, 1, 2, 3, 4, for instance, then you also have a level 5 skill. For instance, you can do another example is with an EB. 1, 2, 3, 4, for instance, is also a level 5 skill. Same skill crosses in a double under. So you remember that the TS was 2–4 if you did it in singles, but some people are able to do it in a double under. They do TS, they jump up and they do the switch while they are in the air. That's of course also a level 5. If the ordinary switch is a level 4, you manage to do it a double under, then it will become a level 5. Same thing with toad switch in double under, or AS switch in double under, and so on and so on. Behind the backwards in a triple, so basically if you do 1, 2, 3, or you do 1, 2, 3, or the same things with AS or CL, because those skills were level 3s, TS, a CL and an AS, it's enough to do it to do a full completion of those skills in a triple under. Because you remember, a triple under is 2 levels, and if you manage to do a level 3 while you're in the air, you get 2 + 3 makes 5. A triple under T-toad, it's the same idea, because coming out of a T-toad is a level 3, so if you manage to do that in a triple under, then you also get a level 5. It makes sense. Releases, you make it just even more hard than what the other examples were, and then you come to a level 5. Power skills, we said going from a level 2 into a power skill is a level 4. Well, then it's obvious that going from a level 3 immediately into a power skill, it becomes a level 5. If you manage to go from the T-toad immediately into a push-up, because T-toad coming out of the T-toad was a level 3, then that is push-up is a level 5. There are other examples, but that's again the basic idea, a level 3 into a power skill. From a level 2 skill to a more powerful power skill, we said AS to push-up is a level 4, then it's obvious that from AS to a one-handed push-up, it's a level 5. Okay? Also, for instance, from AS to a frog upside down, it is also a level 5. It's normal, it makes sense, because it's much harder to do than the level 4s. Sometimes you just have to use common sense, and then you will come to the right level anyway. And then the gymnastics, as I said, you can do an aerial, for instance, which is a level 4, but if you manage to do in the aerial another level 2 skill, then in total you will definitely have a level 5. So for instance, if you do round off back tuck, and in the back tuck you manage to do a triple under is worth 2 levels, an ordinary plain triple under is 2 levels. Because the back tuck is already a level 4, with that extra triple under you will definitely get a level 5. Okay? Watch out, because with a double under you do not get any extra credits, which basically means if you do round off back tuck with only a double, just a plain double, it's still only a level 4. So you have to do a little bit more than an ordinary double under to have a round off back tuck, which is a level 5. It can be a double under with 1, 2 with a cross in, that's already enough. Okay, so that's the level 5s. Just a few more things that I need to point out. In general, if you do a skill again, you get credit for it if it's a cross. If it's an ordinary cross like a toad, if later on in the freestyle you do another toad, but it was in another series, for instance in the beginning you went from EB to a toad and then to a Kruger, and later on you went from a crisscross to a toad to something else, then it's in a different combination, you will get credit for that toad again. So that's not a problem, but it's only correct for crosses. For basic crosses, not for multiples, not for powers, and so on. So if you did your TJ triple under somewhere in your routine, you're not allowed to do it again. If you do it again, then it's possible that judges see that you already did it, and you do not get credit anymore for that one. In general, skills done backwards and forwards have the same level, except for the TS, the CL, and the AS done backwards. But you are allowed to do skills forwards and then do them backwards. You will get credit for them doing them forwards and backwards. If you do a toad forwards, you will get a level 2. If later on you do a toad backwards, you will get a level 2 as well. If you do a TJ triple under forwards, you will get a level 4. If later on in the routine you do a TJ triple backwards, you will get a level 4 again. Identical skills on the right side or on the left side of the body, you do not get credit for it again. If you do your TJ triple on the right side and then a few seconds later you do it on the left side, I'm sorry, but you already showed us that you can do a TJ triple under. One last thing is the pairs interaction. If they do pairs interaction, there is just one general rule which says that if they do some kind of a skill in the pairs interaction, so a person, I am jumping together with a person who's standing in front of me and we're jumping together, basically what do we give for the difficulty part of it? We give one extra level to what the skill would be worth if I would do it on my own. So basically, if we would be jumping together, this would be a level 2 skill. Why? If I would be jumping on my own, that's just an ordinary level 1 skill, but because this person is standing in front of me or behind me, doesn't matter, it becomes a level 2. You get one extra level for it. If you are able to do a TS, for instance, I can do a TS and another person is standing here and I manage to turn for him, this will be a level 3, because a TS forwards is a level 2, so this will become a level 3. So if you are able to do, I don't know, a TJ triple under with a person in front of you or in the back of you, then it becomes a level 5. That's how the pairs interaction works. So that's all you need to know for difficulty single rope, the theory. In another video we will go through a freestyle and then we will see step by step what you have to write down as a judge.